Would you please go on the record with the American people? Did you sexually assault Tara Reade?
No, it is not true. I'm saying unequivocally, it never happened. And it didn't. It never happened.
Right? There's obviously been corroboration of Tara Reade's story in terms of her neighbor saying that she was told the story before. On the other hand, the neighbor came forward at Tara Reade's urging. After being reminded of the story by Tara Reade, she told the reporter that she had forgotten it until Tara Reade reminded her of it. So I think you can continue to make the case either way. I do think it means a lot that Biden has called for any records, if the Senate has them, to be released. And I think he did something important today, which was to deny it unequivocally without attacking Tara Reade's character, without sort of playing whataboutism with Trump, without saying that Trump's allegations are worse, although they are, and kind of I think he threaded a difficult needle of saying that this woman is not telling the truth about me without really attacking her character in any way.
I think there's a really interesting question about whether records from this office, from this period in general, have been retained. If they have been retained, if they're available someplace, if this document is not among them, I think that's probative, as the lawyers would say. If it is among them, I think that will be really interesting, and it will be part of the continuing set of questions that the vice president has to answer, because there are, and I've covered these things going back to Anita Hill and Clarence Thomas, before then Judiciary Committee Chairman Joe Biden. There are a number of inconsistencies in Tara Reade's story, and there are also a number of people who contemporaneously or near contemporaneously she told that something had happened. And so there's every reason to go forward with a serious look. I thought the vice president's team did a smart thing today in asking for these records. I don't think it's hugely tenable. It's going to turn out to be tenable not to also go look in the archives at the University of Delaware, even if we're looking for something that's probably not there and not going to be found.
Exactly. And of course, that has been one of the problems that Joe Biden has had throughout all of this, is that we are not covering the 2020 campaign the way we normally would. We are not covering primaries. They're not being held. We probably will not have a convention as we know conventions to be because of the pandemic. So he's at home and sheltered and doing online town hall meetings, but not campaigning the way he would normally campaign. And I'm not out there asking him questions on rope lines the way I would love to be asking him questions. So that is one reason why this has not gotten as much attention, either to be proved or disproved, as it normally would. The other thing about this is that Joe Biden was very out front in saying that women who make these sexual assault complaints, and he said this in the case of Christine Blasey Ford, should be believed. And now the Trump campaign is going after him, Don Jr. and the campaign, and Kellyanne Conway, and saying, this is a double standard, you're a hypocrite. And he answered that today to the point where he's saying, look, what I'm saying is that women should be listened to and that the claim should be investigated. And in this case, I'm telling you that the claim is not true, but that women should be respected. So he's trying to walk that line.
I think this was a difficult day for Biden. I think they had hoped to not have to do an interview like the one he did this morning on Morning Joe, and they decided that the time had come when it was inevitable that he was going to have to directly and by him personally address the allegations that Tara Reade has made against him. It was interesting. His denial was unequivocal. How many news conferences have you covered where someone will say, and I have no recollection of that event, which can mean any of a number of things. He unequivocally denied it, but he didn't handle every question smoothly. And I think we have not gotten to the end of this story yet. I think this is something that Joe Biden is going to have to answer questions about again in the future.
Team, subscribe for more of these type of videos.